Hey, what's up? This is the Sunflower Samurai, and this is my very first attempt at just uploading something, recording something, something worthwhile and very meaningful to me. My purpose for recording and putting myself out there is just for the sole purposes of really healing, motivating, encouraging, uplifting, and just everything revolving around just overall health and well-being. I'm using my platform as somewhat of a healing space, and in the midst of doing my own personal shadow work, I just wanted to share some thoughts and some feelings that I have just from some experiences that I've gone through. Today, I had a lot of hard feelings, in the midst of doing some of the shadow work I've been involved in, and I really learned something about myself today. As a kid, as a child, I really grew up in under some really tough circumstances. I grew up in a home that was absolutely chaotic. And that's just putting it lightly. It was just World War 103. It was ridiculous. Some of the things that went on in my household, I will love to share, but maybe another time. The one thing I want to touch on about being in an unstable household as a child is, for me, it just really put me in a very anxious state, very anxious. I would be very scared. I would be paralyzed with fear. And a lot of times when things were going on in the house, I wouldn't know what to do. I felt so hopeless. I felt very helpless to protect myself or to even protect others in the household who were being abused, or being hurt, whether verbally or physically. I just felt very, very helpless and unable to protect myself, to defend myself. Deep down, I absolutely resented myself. I absolutely hated myself for my powerlessness, not being able to take initiative and help my family or even help myself. And I buried so much of these hard feelings, the self-hate, the self-resentment. I buried it so deep inside, man, that I would just go into a depressive state. One of the coping mechanisms that really helped me to maintain in such a toxic and chaotic environment was the use of my imagination. Believe it or not, I would just imagine myself as another person, man. I would just imagine myself in another world. I would just hide in my imagination. I would just create a world that I had absolute control of. And I would stay there. I would not try to come out, man. And, this became my pattern. This became my habit for a very long time. I just had such a tough time dealing with my current state of reality. And unfortunately, this was a pattern that stayed with me through my teens and even up into my adult years, where I displayed a pattern of more so running from problems, being very non-confrontational. When challenges arose, I would just keep a nonchalant demeanor and I would just pretend that as if these things didn't exist, as if the problems didn't exist, as if the challenges that waited ahead of me were non-existent. Now, by no means was I an irresponsible person. I was a very good person, In school, I was always on top of my game. I was a 4.0 student. I was very intelligent. I stayed on my task. But, when it came to addressing problems, being confronted with problems, or even being near or close to anything that looked or mirrored a chaotic situation, I would shut down. I would literally shut down, man. And I would just run to my safe place and I would hide, man. And I would treat problems as if they did not exist, man. As if they didn't exist at all. And what ended up happening oftentimes is that I would allow problems to fester and to grow. They would fester and they would grow, and they would turn into really, really big problems that became almost unmanageable, uncontrollable. feeding. It was almost like I was feeding the need to not be in control. Like I would subconsciously just sabotage myself, creating a situation in which I had no control of, in order to punish myself, in order to torture myself for all the years that I was not able to take control. Oh man, and I mean, even just thinking about these things and talking about these things are not easy for me, man. Man, I can name so many times and in so many ways how I sabotaged myself and created problems by ignoring them, by hiding from them, running from them, until things just got out of control. And just in a cycle, I would go through these things year after year after year. I would go into depressive states, beat myself up, beat myself down, really put myself through the ringer, literally, subconsciously, creating problems for myself in which I ultimately would not be able to control. You know, these are things that I have become aware of. This is something that I've become aware of. And, you know, I'm on my journey to overall health and wellness. There's so much self-hate within me that I know, you know, this is going to be a journey that's going to, you know, it's going to take a while, and it's going to be a good journey, and it's going to be a worthwhile journey. And I just want to encourage any others out there who may wrestle with any self-sabotaging behaviors, or who may even wrestle with self-hate, subconscious self-hate. I don't think anyone is really conscious of the of the hate they have for their self. You know, it's kind of a subconscious, autonomous process. And it just shows up in really awkward ways, in really strange ways, you know. But I just want to encourage all others out there who may be wrestling with something, who may be going through something. I just want to say that no matter what you have been through in your past, no matter what you may be going through in the present moment, you are worth fighting for. You are worth loving yourself. You are worth love. You're worth it, man. Don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever think for a minute that your life is not valuable. You are invaluable. And I guarantee that you are invaluable to someone, even to yourself, man. You just got to be there for yourself. If you can't be there for no one else, if you don't have any children, if you don't have any family that you can really connect with, well, man, you just got to be valuable to yourself, man, because you are worth it, absolutely worth it. You know, I just wanted to put that out there. If anyone's listening, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you so much, and this is Sunflower Samurai signing out. Have a good one. Peace.